Howdy guys, I'm King, and today it's not gonna be the normal Pokemon Showdown play. I'm gonna do something different. I know this is old news, but this right here is the Evo lineup. And if you don't know, Evo is the biggest fighting game tournament in the world, where sort of like a bunch of people come, obviously, and fight each other and see who wins. And these are the games that are going to be in for Evo 2019. Now, I don't know about you. I've heard some complaints, but I find this entire roster fine. I love, like, I either want to, like, I've either played and love the game, or I want to severely try out every single one of these. Street Fighter Five. I did not play the arcade, but I did play a versus a lot with my friends, and that was a pretty fun. I do want to try like the arcade edition. Tekken Seven. I had a ton of fun with like the Tekken games. I had a ton of fun. I had a ton of fun with the Tekken games before. I haven't tried a Tekken 7 yet, but I've seen a lot of good things for it, and it seems very hyped. Smash Bros. Ultimate. Now here's the thing. I have played that. I've had a ton of fun with that. Ton of fun with the World of Light. Had a ton of fun unlocking the characters. Played a bit of Joker. I should have played him more by now, but just like I've just been kind of busy. But yeah, no, Smash Ultimate, very fun game, very fun. And the roster's gonna grow, and the roster is sort of like gonna grow even more. Mortal Kombat 11 now, not really surprised. Mortal Kombat, very fun game series. A ton of fun to play with your friends. From what I've seen of the story, it's actually pretty good. I like it so far. I like the idea of time traveling stuff. I think it would have been cool though if they did like two versions of the characters, sort of like the actor Johnny Cage and sort of just like the soldier Johnny Cage. It would have been kind of cool, you know, I'm not gonna be picky. Soul Calibur 5. Oh, Soul Calibur. It's a very fun series, very fun. I enjoyed playing it. I remember this one moment in particular. Uh, I was playing. I think it was 4 or 3. I think I'm not. I can't remember. It was a long while ago, and I remember one of my French brothers. He was just beating me pretty hard. I'm like, okay, I actually managed to get a comeback. I was actually pretty close to winning the match. It was on this like ship level though, with sort of just like the open to water. I'm like, okay, I didn't attack. I jumped over him. And I fell right into water, and I lost the match. I was infuriated at the time, but I was infuriated. I was infuriated at the time, but looking back on it, that's a pretty funny moment. Undying Birth. I'm not. I can't read. I can't read what it says down there, but basically, sort of like the newest Undying Birth. I've seen a bit of it. I've honestly seen less gameplay for this one out of the others, but 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 sort of just like that from what I've seen and from what I played like a bit of it. It was very fun, very diverse, very different from like that we normally get. Uh, Dragon Ball Fighters, obviously, very hype game, action packed. A lot of time, it's like watching like an episode of DBZ. People are just flying around, explosions happening, blocking, counterattacking, doing this, doing that. Very fun, very fun. Did the had the most viewerships last year, I believe. Blaze Blue Cross Tag Battle. This one, this is the one I actually played because I'm a huge fan of Ruby. I played the Persona 4 Arena Fighter. That was very fun, and I've also played Blaze Blue before, and that was a ton of fun. So this to me was like a given. I was obviously gonna buy this. Um, it was kind of disappointing on this one. Also, actually, introduced me to a sort of like Undying Birth, and that's where I kind of got into it a bit. Uh, now, now, a lot of people complain on how simple the controls are. A lot of like the complexities from the last Blade Blues are kind of gone. But to be fair, they're combining 4 different fighting games into one, trying to make them all work with different mechanics and just trying to cram it in. Like, just example would be like if you were to have a Street Fighter versus a Mortal Kombat. Everybody loves the idea, but how is it going to work? How are you going to block for one thing? Are you going to push a button to block like you do in Mortal Kombat, or are you going to hold back like you would do in Street Fighter? Are they going to have like fatalities? Are they going to have like finishers? Just like just like different mechanics for one thing. I personally would not want to see that kind of crossover. I think that the mechanics of the games are just too different for them to like work together. Street Fighter Cross Tekken, that was a better that was better. I enjoyed that game actually. Although I will say, if I have like one complaint, it was just too much orange. I don't know why. Just like there's just so much orange in the game. I'm like, okay, I found it kind of weird. And the Samurai Showdown, the game that I played a lot of like the earlier ones and like the later ones. Man, that was a fun one. Favorite character was Harimaru. I made him mostly. And the funny thing in the first game, I kind of did sort of like my own kind of like boss race, just sort of like Maximilian dude. And by the way, in case if you don't know who he is, he is an amazing fighting game YouTuber who honestly actually does other stuff too. Like, say for example, would honestly be like Monster Hunter and Mario Party kind of thing. So so if you don't so here's the thing. So if you like don't really like YouTubers that only play like one game or one kind of game, don't worry. He plays a bunch of fighting games. He doesn't just play Street like sort of like just sort of like Street Fighter. In fact, I think he's played every single one of these games on here. He's played every single one. I'm not sure about Under Night and Birth. I'm not sure, but I know for a fact that he's played. I know for a fact that he's played Street Fighter Five, Tekken 7, Smash Ultimate, Mortal Kombat 11, Soul Calibur 5, Dragon Ball Z, and Cross Tag Battle. I know for a fact that he's played every single one of these titles. So if you want to know what the games are kind of like, go to his channel. He's a great YouTuber. Highly recommended. Uh, okay, now back to Samurai Showdown. I did kind of like a boss rage, kind of like on what Max does. By the way, it's like his series on where he plays like a bunch of like bosses on like the hardest difficulty. Anyway, I did that for like the first one, and I went through it with like Harimaru. I'm like, okay, you know, hey, it's not going too bad. It's challenging, yeah, but I've learned like the mechanics. I'm like, okay, going through. I don't know why. I go to Ukio, which is like a blue samurai man who's sick and he's trying to find like the perfect flower for like his for like the lady that he is trying to find. Here's the thing: for some reason, he was the hardest character for me to beat. He was so hard. I legit thought that he was like a mini boss in the game. I'm not kidding. I was there for like 2 hours fighting this guy, and I'm like, I don't know how he was just beating me over and over and over again. It was not great. I kept switching between Harimaru and sort of like the Akaru. I eventually beat him with Akaru, thankfully. And I get to the final boss. I beat him, and I'm just going like, why was the final boss easier to fuck? Why was he? Why was he easier? Why was the final boss easier than freaking Ukio? Ukio, I think it's Ukio. Ukio. It's just like I don't know. I found that so weird. I'm like, man. So I've had like a bit of like a tiny grudge against the character ever since. Nonetheless, I love it on when I see Harimaru, like and another sort of like SNK and sort of other like SNK games. The new one now looks great. New characters, great animation. Oh my gosh, the trailers get you hyped. Ah, love it. But yeah, no, I this is a this is an this is a great this is a freaking great cast of lineups for the newest Evo. Man, I'm excited to watch every single one of these. And there's the elephant there's the elephant, sort of like GameCube elephant in the room. That is Melee. Melee is no longer in this. That's right. In case you know, in case if you don't know, Smash Bros. Melee has been in Evo for a very, very long time. A very long time. Although it did have a few problems in the past, or people wanted it. At this point, I think I'm I'm kind of happy Melee's gone. I have to admit, I'm kind of happy because yeah, sort of like there's like the Hungry Boxes, the Mangoes, and those kind of guys. But it's just like it's just like Ultimate has like more characters, like more balance to me. It's just like I don't know, like I enjoy Ultimate more than I ever did like with Melee. And for Melee, I enjoyed it heavily as a kid. However, though, I did not play it as much as Brawl and Four because actually no, did I play it as much as Four? Nah, actually maybe no, I don't think so. Maybe I don't know. I might have played it as much as Four. But the thing is, like, we had the game right, then it broke, unfortunately, and so we couldn't play it for like a long time. My brother then got like a copy from like a used copy at a store, brought it home, put it in the GameCube, and it doesn't work. We actually look at it from behind, like, oh, this is cracked, huh? This is a awful buy. I'm like, okay, yeah, so yeah, Melee, a fun game for the time. Aged, it is aged okay, maybe, kind of. I will say though that the intro to me, like the anime, like just like the out of all the Smash intros, I think Melee is the best, mainly because it's just like for Brawl they just took cutscenes from the story mode and put them as the intro, which to me is like okay, makes sense, but I would have liked an original intro, and for Smash Four they took shots from sort of like the trailers released before the game. I'm like okay, I would have liked an original trailer, and for Ultimate it's kind of like a mixture of both in a way. They kind of mixed like gameplay. I mean, like they kind of mixed like trailers with like the tiny bit of story mode in the beginning. So I'm like, okay, I don't know. I think Melee's intro is the best, but it is not the best Smash game. For one thing, it doesn't have Sonic. That's right. I loved I love Sonic and Brawl. Man, I love Sonic and Brawl. Now, Brawl was actually like the first Smash game that I really really got into. Not competitively, uh, mind you, but still I played that game for hours. It was a ton of fun. I love the Subspace Emissary, and I'm glad that they kind of brought it back in Smash Ultimate. It's kind of sad that they took away all sort of like the all sort of like the platform stages and the map kind of thing, but I didn't mind that much just because sort of just like when I played a spirit and I fought them, and because of the amount of variations that they did with the fights, say for example, like uh, the floor is lava, and this character is represented by this character, and there's a buff and this and that. Like there's so many variables that they did for like a lot of the spirits to me that I honestly thought like I was fighting Doctor Wily and not Doctor Mario. Man, that was a hard fight. Doctor Man, the hardest fight I think was the boss, who is a character in the Metal Gear series, because like man, just like for one thing, it was timed. It was a time battle with a poison floor with only one platform the entire way. So I'm like, okay, great, I love this. And she did high damage, and she got like a ton of defense too. At a certain point, I'm like, okay, I managed to beat her with Jigglypuff. Absolutely not my main. I spammed like a rollout, and I managed to get it at like 2 seconds left. I was like, it was sort of like 5, 4, roll out, 3, 2, and I managed to like hit her as she grabbed onto the ledge. That was a close fight. But yeah, anyway, going back to the Evo thing. Yeah, no, just great. It was just great. Cross tag battle had a fun story mode. I remember that. Kind of short, but not honestly. But I liked. I like seeing the characters sort of like interact in the intros. That was kind of cool to me. I really want to get into like under Night and Birth, and not just because it's an emo, but just like I've just been kind of wanting to play it for a while, and this will encourage me, thankfully, to play it. Man, I really want to play through all of like all of these games more. I really do. Dragon Ball Fighters, man, just like the problem with me is just like on how I get good at fighting games is sort of like I go into the practice mode, I turn the CPU mode on for like just sort of like the CPU level thing on. After that, I put them to the highest difficulty and I just fight them for like 2 3 hours, however long that I choose to fight them, and I just fight them over, and I just fight them the entire time. That's on how I got decent with a jury in Street Fighter Five. I've no longer retained that because that was years ago, but still, like that's just on how like I've done things. By the way, it's not a great strategy to pick a character that you just don't know how to play at all and just be like, go CPU, highest level. Yeah, because then like and that's happened to me. You just develop strategies for the character, and then just like you just don't learn certain moves because sort of just like the CPU is pressing you the entire time, and you just aren't able to get them out. But you need the practice to sort of like get them out, but you're not going to use them because you don't have the practice, and you practice and you practice like kind of like the wrong way. Now, not really recommended. Don't really do that. Uh, I guess for some games that's okay, but for me anyway, like I mainly used like her kicks when she had like other moves to use. I'm like, okay, you know. Another way is just like anyway, yeah. So I'm gonna switch the topic here for a second on how to like kind of like get good at fighting games. Now I'm not the best whatsoever at all. I don't even consider myself good. I consider myself decent at most. I consider myself decent at most. But to if you want to get good at a fighting game, there's like you like it's not whether or not that you have a fight stick. And a fight stick, by the way, is sort of like the a standard arcade controller that they used back in the 90s for sort of like arcade cabinets, and a lot of pro officials use them now. Sure, yeah, but here's the thing: they use them now because here's the thing. That's what they played with when they were kids back in the '90s. A lot of like the top level players for actual, say for example, for sort of like Street Fighter Five grew up in the '90s when like the arcade scene was still going on. So it's just like it's just on what they're used to. Plenty of players have used sort of like just sort of like normal Google controllers to play like in championships. Okay, excuse me. Just like just because that you pick up like a different controller does not mean that you're going to do better. Because and honestly, to be honest, you might actually be worse because you're not going to develop the kind of muscle memory that comes with that controller if you keep switching over and over. And if you just keep switching, if you want to get better, the way to get better is you just play the game a lot. Just play the game. Learn that character. How like their strengths, their weaknesses. What is the best time to use this combo? What is the best time to use this special move or finisher? It's just like, and then after that, you then either go online or you would get together with friends who will play other characters most likely, and then you get good for facing like those characters. Now that has messed people up in the past. Example would be like I can't remember the guy's name sadly, but that awesome like Hakan player that happened in That happened in Evo 2012, 2011, I think. I'm not too sure exactly. But the guy was playing an Akuma versus a Balrog, and I think he won his. I think he won a set, but then he lost a set after that. And so then he decided, okay, you know what? I'm going to go to Hakan, and Hakan, by the way, is not a great character to most people. He's not used in tournaments like at all. So here's the thing, though. A lot of people don't know how to play against him because people don't play him, and so that was one of his greatest advantages. Also Hakan, a great counter to Balrog as well. So yeah, he was basically like a low tier hero at that point, not like low tier god who honestly doesn't actually play low tier characters at all. He actually plays mid, mid to like high tiers. I don't know why he calls him that. He's a just not a great guy. Decent player, I will say. He actually is good. He's better than me. I honestly can tell that right now. I cannot be the person that be like, yo, dude, I can beat you up. I can beat you in this game. I cannot be that person. He's still better than me, absolutely. But it's just anger and rage. It just like it's embezzled. It's sort of like embezzled, and I can't really find the word. And like put into his image so much because he uses it. He gets rages and all that. So he's just seen as a jerk. A decent a decent fighter jerk, but still nonetheless a jerk. What's I even talking about? I went off on a tangent. What was it? A Street Fighter? Oh, yeah, that's right. I'm sorry. It was sort of like getting good at games. Just play the game. Just sort of like invest hours into it, man. Okay, because that's what like every like professional player did. They just put in the hours and they just learned on what character fit them the most. It happened in Street Fighter Five, Tekken 7, Smash Ultimate, and many more. They just got used to the mechanics. I mean, they just like learned the mechanics, learned their characters, learned their weaknesses, and they just played a lot of people to learn on how to face other characters in those calibers. Now, for me, you also have to be. By the way, you also have to be motivated to do it. Like you have to have a drive. For a lot of people, it's money. For me personally, it wouldn't be about the money. It's just for me, it would just be like a bit of the glory, of the glory, but just to be like, I am this good at this game. Just to be good, just be like that good at the game would be like its own reward to me. The fact that I can go into like a championship and face all these people and still be and be that good at the game, that would be its own reward to me personally. But yeah, no, this evil lineup. I think this is a great diverse, a great like diverse selection of games. New and old, new and old. It's weird. Tekken 5 and Tekken 7 to me are actually like they're actually like 5 to like 4 year old games, which is weird to me. It's honestly kind of weird to me. Tekken 7 to me still seems like a new game that came out maybe like a year ago. Not the case at all. I'm like, huh, it's just weird. But yeah, no, great selection, great games. Uh, oh yeah, by the way, before we finish the video, I would like to say Samurai Shodown, by the way, in case if you actually don't know, has not had a new game in over 10 years. It has been on SNK has put that game on their shelf for so long that the dust became dirt. Okay, it's been in the shelf for a long time and hasn't had a new game in a long time. So that's so if you don't know what Samurai Shodown is, that is the reason why the people are so excited to play it, is because it is a new title to a game series that is old but good. But here's the thing: it has not had a new game in a long time. In fact, I don't remember Samurai Shodown ever being in 3D. I think it was only ever like in 2D actually. It's that old. It never made like the conversion until now. Yeah. So anyway, these are the Evo lineups. This is my take. This is my take on them, and I will see you next time. Bye.